Welcome back to The Art of. My name is Elizabeth, and I am so glad you are here with me today. Each time we sit down together, I imagine us sharing a quiet space, like two friends having a heartfelt conversation. We have already talked about the art of starting small, self-compassion, letting go, and hope. Today, I want to invite you into another beautiful practice that can completely transform our relationships, our mental health, and the way we experience the world. Today's episode is about the art of listening. Listening might sound simple, right? We all hear sounds every day. We hear people's words, we hear background noise, we hear music. But listening is not just hearing. Listening is deeper. Listening means paying attention with your heart, not just your ears. Listening is about being present, about saying, I am here with you, I see you, I value what you are saying. The truth is, many of us live in a world that is very noisy. Everyone wants to talk, to share, to express, but very few want to really listen. And yet, listening is one of the greatest gifts we can offer to another human being. Let me share a little story. A while ago, I had a conversation with a close friend. She was going through a really difficult time, and she just wanted to talk. As she started sharing, I noticed something inside me. I wanted to interrupt. I wanted to give her advice. I wanted to tell her what she should do. I wanted to fix the problem. But then I realized she was not asking me to fix anything. She just wanted me to listen. She wanted me to be present. So I stayed quiet. I looked at her. I nodded. I let her words flow. And after a while, she sighed deeply and said, "Thank you. I feel so much lighter." She did not need my solutions. She just needed my presence. That moment taught me something important. Sometimes the deepest healing comes not from the words we say, but from the silence we hold. Think about the last time you felt truly listened to. Maybe it was a parent, a teacher, a friend, or even a stranger. How did it make you feel? Safe? Seen? Loved? We all crave that kind of attention, because when someone listens to us, it feels like we matter. Listening is not just about conversations with others, though. Listening is also about how we treat ourselves. Many of us do not even listen to our own feelings. We ignore our tiredness. We silence our sadness. We push away our fears. We keep moving so fast that we do not stop to ask ourselves, what do I really need right now? The art of listening is not just outward, it is inward, too. It is about pausing to hear the quiet voice inside you that says, rest, or slow down, or this is what I truly want. Let me pause here and ask you, when was the last time you listened to yourself? Not your thoughts rushing in circles, not your worries repeating, but your true self. Maybe it has been a while. That is okay. That is why we are talking about this today. Listening takes practice, because real listening is rare. Often, when someone is talking to us, our mind is busy preparing what we are going to say next. Or we are distracted by our phone. Or we are half in the conversation, half in our thoughts. Real listening asks us to slow down, to give our full attention, to put aside judgment, solutions, and even our own stories for a moment, and simply be present. There is something sacred about listening. It creates connection. It builds trust. It reminds us that we are not alone. Imagine a world where everyone truly listened to each other, to themselves, to the needs of the planet. What a different world it would be. I want to tell you another story. I once met a young man who shared how he had struggled with depression for many years. He said what hurt the most was not the pain itself, but the feeling that no one really listened. People either dismissed him or tried to quickly cheer him up. It was not until he met someone who simply sat with him, looked into his eyes, and said, "I hear you," that he began to feel a little hope again. That moment reminded me of how life-changing listening can be. Sometimes it is not grand gestures that save lives. Sometimes it is simply being heard. So how can we practice the art of listening in our everyday life? Let me share some simple but powerful ways. First, be present. When someone is speaking, give them your full attention. Put away distractions. Look at them. Let your body language say, "I am here." Second, listen without judgment. Do not rush to label their experience as right or wrong. Just let their story exist as it is. Third, resist the urge to fix. This is hard, especially when we care. But often people do not need fixing. They just need space to feel. Fourth, ask gentle questions. Instead of jumping in with advice, you can say, "How did that make you feel?" Or, "What do you need right now?" Questions like these show you care and encourage deeper sharing. And finally, pause. Silence is not empty. Sometimes the most powerful moments in a conversation are in the pauses, where someone feels safe enough to let emotions surface. Listening is not always easy. It requires patience. It requires humility, because we must put aside our desire to be the center. But in return, listening gives us deeper relationships, stronger empathy, and a sense of connection that words alone cannot create. I also want you to think about how listening connects to self-development and mental health. When we learn to listen deeply, we reduce misunderstandings. We reduce conflicts. We create stronger bonds. We even improve our own emotional intelligence, because listening teaches us to notice what is not being said. The tone, the silence, the body language. Listening makes us more human. And when we listen to ourselves, we prevent burnout. We recognize our own needs earlier. We give ourselves permission to rest, to say no, to choose what is right for us. In a world that constantly tells us to go faster, listening helps us slow down and realign. So maybe this week, I want to invite you to practice listening in small ways. When someone talks to you, try to really hear them. When you are alone, take a few minutes to listen to your own feelings. You might be surprised at how much changes when you simply pay attention. Listening is not loud. It is quiet, soft, steady. And yet, it has the power to heal, to connect, and to transform lives. As we close this conversation today, I want to leave you with this thought. Sometimes the greatest act of love is not what we say, but what we hear. To listen is to say, "You matter." To listen is to say, you are not alone. To listen is to say, I care. Thank you for joining me today on, and I hope this episode encourages you to slow down, to listen more deeply to others and to yourself. Because in listening, we discover not only others, but also ourselves.